look for the promised love. Basic support. Here, we're gonna talk about the basic support. If you have a girlfriend and you want to give them their allowance, this is the cheat sheet for you. Basic support, you can give them $100 is enough. It's enough and big for them. Kind support, $200. And for this one, great support, it costs a lot, $400. It's very, very, very good and better if you give your girlfriend this one. Incredible support, $750. It's like a expensive or higher one, but it's good for you. But don't take the stupid support because it's like a $1,000 plus dollar. If they ask you like this, just think because maybe you get scam or what. Maybe it's not a girl. Maybe they're just doing a dump account like that. So be on great support account. Great support for $100.
Beautiful people, what is good, what is good, what is good? Of course, you know who I be, Good Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. You should already know this one is poised to be an instant classic in the making. If this is by far your first time to the Dr. Mike, TV experience, by all means, make sure you subscribe and notify and do all the good things to make yourself well-versed in the Good Dots content. All my good stuff listed in the links in the description area below. Today's video was brought to you by the single Taken Too Busy Collecting Stamps t-shirt, which is found below this particular video in my Shop Now store. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I had to get that one off my chest. Today, ladies and gentlemen, big shout out to my big bro, JD, for bringing this particular video to my attention. Otherwise known as the cheat sheet for foreigners that have Filipina girlfriends that they're trying to support and or looking to support overseas, right? This video is courtesy of, I believe the young lady's name is Smart Girl Filipina. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry, baby girl. But I have to say that I do admire the outline in this video. For any of you guys who have seen it, for any of you guys who have watched it, if you haven't watched it, it will be linked in the description area below. But she kind of really does break down the types of expenses that a foreigner would typically have if they do have themselves a Filipina girlfriend. Everything from room and board, you know, to cell phones, to load, to transportation, to if your young lady's in college, potential tuition payments. I mean, she goes through it all and basically gives you a basic number of what it could potentially cost you if you do have a girlfriend that requires any of the laundry list of things that she put out there. Of course, the numbers may vary depending on area. The numbers may vary dependent upon, you know, how much you choose to support or not. But in the end of the video, I kind of like how she broke down kind, smart, dumb levels of supporting your Filipina abroad, right? But let's call it for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's always been this debate about whether foreigners should send their significant other money, you know, while they're separated, whether you be in your own home country, of course, your young lady still in the Philippines, or this could be to any young lady abroad, whether that be Thailand, Japan, and of course the big three in Brazil, Colombia, and the DR. There's always been this topic of debate, is it okay to send and how much to send, right? Now, I cannot sit there and tell you how much money to send, right? None of us can sit there and judge you and tell you how much money you should send your significant other because it's completely going to be up to you. But what I can do is share with you my perspective, okay? When I was living in the United States before my wife came here, when we were just fiance, you know, we were at that status level, how much money I was sending her while I was working here in the United States before she came to join me. Now, again, my situation is going to be different than other people's, based on financial income or how much money I was bringing in personally, and also based on how long or the experience that I actually have with my particular young lady, you know, before I decided to say I do, right? Me and my young lady been locked in for a long time. I'm not sure to what perspective or what duration of the relationship you're in with your current young lady right now, if you're considering taking care of them, or if you're doing it right now, or if you say, fuck it, $0, 0 cents, 0 pesos, 0 centavos is what I'm gonna send. If you're on that level, hey, completely up to you. But at the same time, I do personally believe it does depend on what level you are in your relationship with that particular young lady. A lot of people will say, and to an extent, I agree and disagree with this, but if you're locked in and you feel like this particular young lady is the one, right? This young lady has all the qualities that you want in life, all the qualities that you need in life, and you're like, you know what? I can see myself going long term with her. I do believe that to an extent, it is best to put her in as part of your expenses, a monthly expense. If this is your young lady, this was what it was for me when I decided to, propose to the mean one before she became the wife. I said, fuck it, she's gonna always be on my payroll, if that's what you want to call it, right? And I'll get to how much I did every month and I'll let you know what that consisted of. But at the same time, going back to it, putting her on your payroll, putting her as at the very least part of your expenses on a monthly basis, right? You got your rent, you got your cell phone bill, you got your car payment, and then the money you send to your significant other, right? If you really are locked in, to an extent, that's probably the only and best way to look at it. That way, it's money that you already have calculated in as part of money that is going to be extracted from your money coming in every month on a continuous basis. Again, that's only if you really are locked in on that level. I do not expect that you are gonna find yourself locked in on that level 1 month in, 2 months in. Oh, we just met online 2 days ago. I like her. I don't mind sending her money. Like, I'm not expecting you to be locked in that early on. But at the time that I decided to put the young lady on the payroll, we had already been together for years. I just want to make sure I note that and preface that. Okay. But the breakdown in the video, the cheat sheet, the potential prices that we heard in this particular video were typically ideal. Like, I mean, if you do plan to take care of your young lady and these are her expenses on a monthly basis, like, hey, on a daily basis, I spend X amount on taking a jeepney. I spend X amount on food, or, my boarding house costs X amount per month. And I do like how she broke down the, she didn't say it like this, but this was the way it was interpreted, the 3 levels of housing, right? You have a room and board, or like a bed spacer, which is the super cheap one. Then you have like a small apartment, of course, that's probably shared, and then probably something on a higher end level that you may get for her so that y'all have a place to stay whenever you come in, which may be a little bit more on the higher end or the more expensive end, simply because as a foreigner, I do not expect you guys to be staying in some of the rougher areas that you may find a lot of the younger Filipinas that you are entertaining actually living in, right? To an extent, I like to believe the majority of foreigners do have a level of standard, and that means that you're gonna have to pay a little bit more to get a nicer place. And even though a nicer place doesn't mean you're gonna break the bank, especially in a place like the Philippines, you definitely want to make sure you're staying in a place that may end up costing you $200-300 a month. Again, if that's just a place for y'all to stay, I'm perfectly fine with that. That is a y'all thing. If that's just a her thing, I'm a little bit iffy about that, because year round, her having access to that, bringing in family and all that stuff, it could get a little sticky, right? And then one thing that I did not see her bring into this video, which is definitely one of the most important factors that I believe from the foreigner perspective, and if she did bring it in, please forgive me, I just missed it, but the idea of taking care of family, right? So not only including her in the expense, but the family in the expense too is crazy. And I'm not saying that those are 2 separate charges. That could definitely be a part of the expense account that you lump in with her. But that's always a conversation for foreigners to have at all times. And we like to believe, oh, we can avoid it like the plague. Oh, I'm here to take care of you, boo. I'm not here to take care of your family. It could be a whole thing, but at the end of the day, trust me when I tell you, it doesn't matter what relationship you're in, how long you're in said relationship. High percentage chance, depending on the socioeconomic class of Filipina that you're dealing with, there is a high percentage chance that money and helping the family is gonna come up in conversation. I mean, it's damn near unavoidable, right? Not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna be able to avoid it unless the Filipina that you're dealing with comes from a well-off family who don't need your money, who don't want you, right? Don't want your shit. That's a little different. But the greater majority of foreigners tend to want to deal with young ladies that come from provincial areas and your typical families in the provincial area, they don't really earn a lot of money. Some foreigners may say, hey man, the money they're asking for, man, that ain't shit. That's nothing for me, a couple $100. What is that for me on a regular basis? But what I like to say to all of the guys who go about it in that manner is that you're setting yourself up for failure, especially when it's going to be expected, right? When the consistent helping of the family becomes an expectation, like, oh, well, he gave me this month, or you pay every month on the first to send some money to the family, whatever it may be. Now it's a consistent thing that you've done and something that they're going to expect down the line. Like, there's an expectation for you to take care of the family at this point because you've gone months on end making sure that you've paid the family whatever little money you was given. What happens when the day comes where you can't afford to do that anymore? Always the question. Not only does that kind of probably fuck up your relationship with that particular young lady, but it just comes out to an extent that you've probably wasted a lot of time, effort, and energy with a young lady that was, probably with you for what you can provide. Now, if that is the case, and that is the revelatory moment that a lot of foreigners find themselves in, guess what? I did have a chance to read the comments, and one guy in particular said, to avoid paying monthly for Filipina to do all these and have all this money for extra activities, why don't we just bar find and get it over with, because bar finding provides a lot of variety. As a married man, I can't say that I condone the behavior, but at the end of the day, I can tell you that I understand it. I understand exactly where it's coming from, and I understand exactly what he means when he says it. Because at the end of the day, a lot of guys aren't looking for long-term girlfriends that they have to take care of for long periods of time. They're just looking for a little bit of fun. And that probably is, in my personal opinion, the ideal route to go for a lot of guys, right? It just makes things less complicated, and we have to be real and call a spade a spade. A lot of these guys don't really know how to talk to these women anyway, so trying to carry on something that is long-term, that could be a little bit more of a headache than most people would like to, basically admit to. So in my opinion, however you choose to go about your relationships, that is completely up to you. How much you choose to send is completely up to you. But for my young lady, I think it was anywhere between 300 and 500, if I can remember correctly. I'd have to ask her. But anywhere between 300 to 500 a month, that covered rent and everything else for her. Like, I didn't go into the details about anything. I didn't say, oh, what is this for? What are you spending on? Let me see a breakdown of your spending and all that shit. I didn't care, right? 300 to 500, it didn't hurt me enough to where I felt I had to question it. So at the end of the day, as long as she could make do with that particular amount of money, I didn't say anything, didn't question it. And for any guy who chooses to go this route, that's my real takeaway from this video. As long as the money that you're sending doesn't take away from your ability to live your own life wherever you are at the moment until you can reunite with your significant other, that would be the route to go. If 500 don't hurt you, that's what's up. 1,000, like she said, you kind of being stupid if you put $1,000 on it. But if $1,000 ain't gonna hurt you, who am I to tell you what to do with your bread, right? I will gladly sit there and shake my head in the corner like that motherfucker stupid. But I ain't gonna say nothing because, again, who am I to tell you what to do with your bread, okay? But at the end of the day, man, it's whatever's comfortable for you. I definitely encourage you guys not to get into the idea of taking care of anybody. Like, no time soon, right? You just gotta forego all of that energy, right? You shouldn't be in the market taking care of nobody. It's none of your business to take care of anybody like that. Don't care how much you love them. There's nothing wrong with sending a couple of dollars here and there. But to be consistent with it, like I said, putting them on the payroll or shit, or putting them as part of your deductible expenses on a monthly basis, that is a commitment, okay? I was already engaged. So that was a commitment I was willing to make. I was engaged before I left the Philippines to come back to the United States, right? And as you can see, overall, it was a relationship that, up to this point, knock on wood, it worked out, right? So, at the end of the day, man, y'all go about it and take this information how you will. Can't tell you what to do with your shit. All I can do is tell you what I did, give you some good information, and hopefully some good advice. If you got anything else you want to add, man, please contact me, MikeThePIGuide@gmail.com. If you wish to email me, let me know in the comment section below if you agree, Doc. Yeah, I can see you putting a girl on the payroll, but we got to be careful about how much money we send because we don't know the realness and the faithfulness that comes with said money that we spend. Or if you're on the verge of, hey, bar fines for life. What is it? $0 down, $0 interest. We just pay for it on the spot. Call it a day. Keep pushing. If that's your energy, man, I would love to hear it in the comment section below. Let me know. It's been a good night, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Time for the good night to go and get to getting. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed. Doc is out. Peace.